Motivation and moisturized skin. How can you not win? How can you not win? I am Hope. This is Hope is Speaking, and I am your TED speaker, your motivational maven, your well traveled, happy speaker. And it's just been a fantastic week. And I entitled this Motivation and Moisturizer because it just feels good. It just feels good. Life just feels good. And I do love to motivate and speak inspiration. However, there was for me, a different sense in the air, a different feeling, a different level of completion, a different just love. And I believe this beauty comes from that in between, or that in time when you finish or you accomplish or you have reached a goal. And then at times the question could be, what now? I've reached this goal. I've had this goal. I've had this dream. I've had this thing that I've wanted to accomplish, and now I've accomplished it, and it doesn't quite feel how I thought it would feel, but it feels great. And now what to do next? Has anyone felt this? Because what I have learned, especially in this season where I am now, is thank you, Derek Square. That's kind of you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate just your word usage, especially the fact raw talent. Clarify what would be non-raw talent, like cooked talent or arranged talent. However, I love it. This isn't something to ridicule you at all. I am a wordsmith, so I'm always asking for clarification and what that meant for you. Because yes, I do believe I'm talented. In fact, it's not even a belief. I know I'm talented. I believe we all are talented in our own individual ways. Whether we want to admit it, whether we pour into it, and whether it's something that we align with, that falls upon us. Thank you. Yeah, I love that's why I entitled this Motivation and Moisturizer, because I love some moisturized skin. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Because energy, all right, let me talk about that. Because I've always had this energy. I've calmed down a bit. Thank you, Mr. Bohana, with age and life. However, I was told that I was like hyperactive, especially when I was younger. And I would cover myself. I would turn my light down. I would ensure that I wasn't seen. I always liked to sit right in front of class and be the first to raise my hand. And I got to a point where I said, well, no, because people now think that I'm the smarty pants, which I am. Now I embrace all of this. I am. But why is the remedy to quiet yourself? Why is it the remedy to, when someone says something, what's up, CeeLo? When that was pointed out, like, you think you're the smartest. No, I know I'm the smartest, and that's okay. For you to point out something that may be a characteristic that you would love to embrace, but you haven't. So the next step is to alienate another person. I now, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A full package. I love that. Getting to the point of ridicule doesn't enhance or help. Now, especially me, because I wouldn't ever say stop saying that. Even as a child, I would say, well, so what? You already told that to me. And I go back to the foundation, which I'm grateful that I had parents that inspired me to just be me, not to punch someone in the face. In fact, when I think about it, my parents never said, go fight. I always knew my words, my voice was my protection. It was the way I fought. And it was always, and it is still now, intelligent and at times will fly over your head. So it's not that you will even understand that I am kind of poking you on the side, but because words can create such an energy, and the energy that I hold combined, whatever you say to me doesn't matter. And I've shared this because because life is good. Even if whatever you see that may make you unhappy, change your perspective. And oftentimes, see Lowe's focus, I've always talked about this. Most of the time, people just get down about something that pertains to money. It is easy to knock someone off their game. Just let them miss a bill or not have enough. They will forget about the beauty of life because of something as small as money. You still have your health. You still have the ability. You still have this thing called life. And furthermore, just because you don't have it in this moment doesn't mean you will never have it. I am a dreamer. I do believe that all of these things are available for me just because I believe it. Matter of fact, my thank you. Well, I don't know if they did that, but I don't believe they ever put anything of gender to me. They just allowed the spirit of what I am to grow. And that's what I would do, because I actually do not adhere to any of those constructs of you must be X, Y, or Z. This could just be me at this stage of my life as well. However, I do appreciate and love my parents. And my TED Talk has been posted. It was just posted maybe an hour or two ago. So if you go to YouTube, if you go to the TEDx YouTube page, you can just put in the search hope, the emergency landing you need. My TED Talk that I gave earlier this month in Germany has just been posted, and it's brought this calm. Because as I started this talk, it was about that not lull, but after you've accomplished something or reached a goal or something that you aspired to, there's not an emptiness, but just a time of reflection. And I had posted on my LinkedIn that right when I stepped off of the TEDx stage of giving my speech, the emergency landing you need, a woman came up to me and said, "You're amazing. This is a big goal. What is next?" And I was like, what's next? Like, it just finished. What's next is me going to the hotel, taking a shower and going to sleep, and then allowing what's next to come to me. And that's where I am now. It's less of what do I need to accomplish? What is the next goal? What is the next fit? No, it'll come. And I'm going to allow myself to be present just in this moment. I want to be present in how this feels. I want to feel this. I seek to encode this in every part of my being. To date, thank you. To date, this has been one of the most freeing, captivating, and challenging accomplishments. Because I'm stepping onto a stage of a gift of mine, artistic gift and skill. However, this is also what I seek to pour into the world, the universe, my life, this lifetime. This is what I want to leave. This is, thank you for the compliment on the hair. And with any performer, entertainer, anyone who chooses to step onto a stage, it's not really courage, because I have to be authentic to me. Being inauthentic would mean I'm not going to share this. And my goal was always to inspire. So my goal is that speech on TEDx platform, the emergency landing you need, does inspire. And I continue to inspire in any way. And I also felt, and I'm transparent with this because someone may need to hear this, when you are going towards something, I speak extemporaneously, meaning I know what the goal is. I know what the best message is. What's up, Rover? Rover, my TED Talk has been posted, so you can go to YouTube and watch it. And it's, I'm never thinking about who won't. Here's hope. I'm never thinking of the individuals that aren't drawn to it. That's a part of it. But for me to even allow my energy to go into that, there's no benefit. Not everyone will do anything. Just putting the blanket statement of everyone, it's never everyone. It never is. And so I understand that. And who is inspired will be inspired. Furthermore, I speak extemporaneously, and I knew the words were there. I get very clear. I go on the stage, I deliver. And the message is just under 8 minutes. And I found a space of, it could have been longer. And I said, well, hope. The thing is, it's not about that. What it's about is delivering the exact message with the exact words, with no filler, and that's it. That lack of it has to be this or it must be that or I have to go this way. No. It was an accomplishment enough to be there, giving my first TED Talk in Germany, bringing my niece, having friends there, and spreading this message. And then sitting with that beautiful moment, being present in that moment, and truly allowing what's next to come. I'm in a space of trusting, and especially trusting the process, trusting that I've done what needs to be done. I've done the work, the due diligence, the persistence, and everything is already mine. I miss you too, Mimi. Well, I've been back on. I didn't come on yesterday, but I had not came on for about 2 weeks because my voice was restricted from my travel in Germany. So I completely had to rest my voice because my voice is my method. And so now I'm back. And I'm back on it, and I miss you too. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I like this length. You know, my hair is always spoken about. I love a grown out dye. You know, I love a color in my hair. However, I like worn. I like it to be grown out. I love my dark roots. I always say I'm going to grow my hair out. I like this length because the curls are just perfect. We'll see. I enjoy the process. That's another thing, the process. With TED, the process of being invited to TED, the process of what I was going to say, the process of changing what I was going to say, the process of going, the process of being, the process of doing, the process of completion, and then that process of, okay, yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. And I can be okay with just the void, because these voids always appear to be longer than we really see them to be. And that's the message. The message is truly to know I don't believe anything that's ever for me will ever miss me. I also believe there is never a wrong path, because I trust. I trust myself. I trust my decisions. There is, whether it's left or right, it's the right decision. And how powerful that is. Because I'm reminded of being with a friend who said, Hope, I like being around you because you can always just decide, and I hate making decisions. Well, life is going to be difficult, because that's all life is a series of decisions. Make the decision, choose your decision, and go forward with your decision. That's it. There is no right or wrong way. You'll figure it out. And I tell myself, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. Everything is figure outable. Everything. I have everything I need to figure it out. So just figure it out. Without the doubt of, am I doing this correctly? You are. You're learning something. You're learning something. I'm past that, and this is also why I'm often in solitude, because I can't be around it. I can't be, or not that I can't. I choose not to, because that will, I feel that. If you cannot make a simple decision between curly fries and sweet potato fries, that is a small decision. What will it take for you to make a big life decision? Come on, it's curly fries or sweet potato fries. They both good. Choose one and go on. And to me, that's how all decisions are. I trust myself. I trust the decisions I make, and I go forward in that trust. No one needs to aid in my decision. I trust my decision. And before I moved to Hawaii, I had a friend when I was living on the East Coast. I think I was in Jersey at that time. And she said, oh, Hope, do you want to get in contact with my friend? They live in Hawaii and they can help you. I said, no. Why? She said, well, they live in Hawaii and you're moving to Hawaii. Anything I need to find out, I will find out when I'm there. There's nothing that anyone can tell me that I will not be able to figure out. Plus, I've lived several locations. I've lived all around the world by choice. So even relocating isn't that difficult of a task. Being a flight attendant and traveling for the bulk of my life allowed me to know I can trust myself. Thank you, Ivy. Especially when traveling, especially when relocating, and in any decision that I choose. So here's how. Believe in your choice. That's it. Instead of saying I'm making the wrong choice, I always make the wrong choice. No, I believe this is the best decision for me, and I'll go forward because I know I can figure it out. That's it. That's all it takes. That's what I tell myself. Instead of saying, "What's up, cool Aaron?" Instead of saying, "This is a bad decision. I always make bad decisions." No, I'm not doing any of that. This is my life. I have the controller in this game. Which means if I think it's the best decision, then it's the best decision for me. And I will figure it out. There's something that I will learn in the process. This is also because I've been in a lot of precarious situations in my life. I like to say I've lived a colorful life. Matter of fact, I don't have my microphone. Let me put on my microphone. So, when things in life are encountered, I know I can figure it out. I never doubt myself. Now, that may be a process, but work towards getting to that process of trusting yourself. Because if you don't, you always have that to fall back on. Yeah. And it's not even, you do it before you believe. Here's the thing. All of these things you do before you believe. You may not even believe it, but tell yourself that. That's how you get to the point of believing. If you make a decision and the constant response within your own personal dialogue is, "I don't like making decisions. I hate change. I make bad decisions," that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to feel. For it to change is for you to just speak differently about your choices. That's it. I do trust myself. I trust my decisions. I have confidence in my choices. Yeah. Yeah. And a habit is just that. It's something that you do that now you don't have to think about. So oftentimes this habit, and thank you for liking the live, of not trusting your decision, it's because you've done it so much that it's just the immediate thought. That's it. It's just your immediate thought. That means you will have to work to replace it, to retrain yourself to build that new habit. And it's much simpler than you think. It's never about anyone in your past. Now, when you're an adult, I often say to take full accountability may help. This is different if you're a child. However, if you're 48 years old, blaming the kids in school in your 5th grade class for why you haven't accomplished your goal, it's not going to work. That stopped working decades ago. And the beauty of taking full accountability for everything that you choose to put your hand towards means that you actually have control over it. You actually have control over it. You can actually, especially on this app, people speak of delusion. Listen, things are not until they are. I will relate this to my TED Talk. I had always said, yeah, I'm going to do my TED Talk. I can't wait to do my TED Talk. I would even say, oh, I had a great time doing my TED Talk. This was years before it was actually completed. It was that programming of myself. Before it happens, you don't just spring into action. You have to actually program yourself for that success or for that thing you want. If it's becoming more active, you have to see yourself running. You have to see yourself in a dance class or the gym or on a bike or skiing, whatever it is, before it actually happens. If you're always envisioning yourself sitting down, eating food that doesn't add to your body, that's probably what is going to manifest. What's up? What's up? What's up? Great evening. Great evening. And you can go see my TED Talk. It was posted only like an hour ago, but go to YouTube. The emergency landing you need. My TED Talk is up. It's a short message of inspiration. However, I seek for it to inspire. However, you got to speak these things into it. I've always spoken, and here's the other thing, I heard this with my parents. So this is embedded within me, right? This is embedded within me. When my father would speak of a beautiful home with a room for all of his children, and my mom would speak of the beautiful kitchen before it was even ours. Like we all believed it. Like, yes, this beautiful home years before. You have to see it within your mind's eye, see it within your vision before it comes. It doesn't just come and you say, oh, there it is. You actually have to build up that belief that it's possible. It's a cycle. Build up the muscle that, first of all, it's possible. Okay, it's possible. Then builds up the muscle, I can achieve this. Okay, I can achieve this. Then builds up the repetition of, I'm doing the works. And it is that cycle. It is that cycle. And it's constant. And it will constantly challenge you. And it will constantly change. And I only speak about what I've experienced and what I know. This happened the whole time with my TED Talk. Up until when I was on my flight where I said, maybe I just won't go. Maybe just, wait a minute, Hope, wait a minute. You're meant for this. You know, anything that comes to you is for you. What do you mean you're not going to go? You're flying 6,000 miles to present. Of course you're going to go. Of course you were meant for this. Of course there's resistance. There should be. You haven't done this. And you're going to do great. So get silent, get strong, and go forward. I told myself this. You got to be able, now I will always be the source of motivation and inspiration, but that's because what I'm telling to you, I'm telling to me daily. Daily. It doesn't just stick when you say it once. This is a constant effort. This is constant. I made a TikTok about how I do what I want to do. I do. If it comes down to a place of business, I've had few jobs just because I've loved what I've done. So when I was in school, when I was in college, I knew I had all these skills, and I said, college isn't it for me. Yeah, I went for like 2 years, but the whole time I was thinking, how am I going to get out of this? Because I want to see the world. I wanted to model. I wanted to get into entertainment. I went into makeup artistry and climbed that ladder and said, well, if I want to actually model, then why am I doing makeup artistry to get to modeling? Just go into modeling. Like, it's a good way to see all of the different areas of entertainment, or that. The production, the stylist, fashion, makeup artistry, designers, all of that. But if that's what you want to do, then just do it. And then I did makeup artistry, and I talked about that because I worked in Macy's at one of the counters. And then I said, okay, I've kind of done this for a year and a half. I'm great at it, but it's not what I want to do. And I left, and companies came to me and said, Hope, you're great at makeup artistry. You're great at selling. Come work for the companies exclusively. So I was a traveling makeup artist with Lancome, exclusively with Lancome, but then with NARS and Chanel and some others. And then, okay, so I'm traveling to the different department stores and helping them, but this isn't it. I love it. I love the skincare. I love makeup artistry. I've gotten to the mastery, but it's not it. There's no need for me to stay here. And that's often what I see people do. I've done it, especially in relationships. It's never going to get better. Once you reach that level where, okay, this isn't what I want to do, maybe it will. It hardly ever just switches and goes to the moon. And I will say one thing I've excelled at is exiting. I do not want to be that person that says I should have left 20 years ago, but I was afraid. But the pay is okay. but I like the people I work with. So what? I can find that anywhere. I got to challenge myself to do more. This is it. Also, when I was working for Lancome, I went with my then boyfriend to have a herbal cigarette and didn't come back for like 2 hours. And so that was the only time I was fired. but, 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 like myself, I will always try to make it work. So I walked back into the Macy's. Do you understand the energy that I speak with? It's because I've done ridiculous things. Who thinks that they can go have lunch for 2.5 hours and then just walk back in like, yeah, da, 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 da. Hey, how you doing? The counter manager was like, Hope, what are you doing? I was like, signing back in. She said, okay, Hope, what's up? Leave. I was like, leave? Yeah, leave. What? So I'll see you next week. She was like, Hope, bye. And she was not angry and yelling at me, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Also, when I worked in my dad's office, apparently he would fire me all the time, but I would just come back the next day like nothing happened. And this is where this persistence comes in. You can't tell me no. No just means you got to find a different way. And what I have found is that is a really pivotal method of life. And I asked my parents, what did you instill that in us? And they said, yeah, the world is going to tell you no. We wanted to make sure that our children knew that if someone tells you no, you don't fall apart. And I don't. I don't care what people say. I really don't. I see what I want and I go. And I keep going till I get it. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't think I'm deserving. I don't care if you think you should have it before me. All of that is okay. But get out of my way because I'm going to get it. And you got to be relentless. So with makeup artistry, I did love it because at that time, all the hot girls worked in the makeup department, all the prettiest girls. And I was like, yo, I'm one of the pretty girls in the makeup department. Exactly. It's not even important. It's pivotal. If you don't have a strong foundation within yourself, knowing it's me, I can do it. I'm worthy of it. I got everything it takes. And if I don't, I will learn and I will work and I will cry and I will feel frustrated until it's done. That's it. I saw this especially like with my father, that you just have to be kind of an a-hole for yourself in life. Les Brown has a quote that says, everything in life is a fight for territory. You may not have to fight for what you want, but everything you want, you will fight for. That's it. And I know what I want. I want the best of the best for me. I don't want it through someone else. I want it through me. I will do what it takes to get it. And that's just it. So after I was fired, I would like to say she nicely told me not to bring your butt back. Hope, don't bring your butt back. But in all fashion, I did. I came right back because I was, 21, 22 at the time, but working for the company exclusively. And this was in like 2005, 2006. I think I was making between $50 or $60 an hour. So you have to understand, I quickly was like, now I know she said that, but I'm just going to come back. So I came back the next week, like she hadn't fired me the week before. And I walked in my all black, ready to do makeup. And she was like, what are you doing here? And I said, what do you mean? She says, Hope, no. Hold on. Oh, wow. That scared me. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, just put in the kitchen.
Okay, I saw some ominous figure walk up to the door and I was like, what is going on? So, yes, fired, kind of, nicely told not to come back. I came back. Let me make sure. I came back and she was like, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here to work. And she said, leave, which I left. And it was the best thing. And I shared this story because oftentimes this is just redirection. It's just redirection. There is not one time where I don't even think I don't really cry over these things. I just say, okay, what's next? And that's what I did. I believe I was doing makeup artistry, working at my dad's office, and I was juggling a few things because I always knew there would be an opportunity and I just had to be financially prepared to take it. So was that void of like, something's coming. I don't know what's coming. I know it's great, but I'm going to be doing these jobs and building a very comfortable launch pad to launch. So I had started hostessing at this one of my favorite restaurants. Now, when I say I only do what I like, I will go apply it to the restaurant that I love anyway. They've already seen me. I love it. I was the hostess. A restaurant owner came in and me being bubbly, I was like, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Where's the rest of your family? I know you didn't leave them at home. And the restaurant owner said, I love your personality. I'm opening a restaurant in 2 weeks and I have to have you on my staff. I said, okay, great. When? He said, come tomorrow. It was like the next day. Come tomorrow. We're doing interviews. You already have the job, but we have to go through with this interview process. You will meet someone and I'm going to let them know I'm hiring you. I need you at the front of the house for my restaurant. I said, okay. So I had left that restaurant that I was working in because I was hired on the spot by this other restaurant owner. What's up, Raph? I start working in this high-end Italian restaurant. And what happened was one of the girls I was working with, who we were running food, she said, Hope, the airlines are hiring. I said, oh my gosh, I've been traveling my entire life. My father was already he had a lot of miles on a lot of different airlines because he would travel for business. I've always wanted to be a flight attendant. Maybe we could be like, get a place together in New York. She said, yeah, I have an interview in Chicago. I said, great. How do I apply? She said, well, go on to the website. So I went on to the website. Now, I told you about my persistence. You can't tell me no. This was in 2006. This was the first hiring after 9/11. None of the airlines hired after 9/11 because a lot went into bankruptcy. So when the airlines did start hiring again, for the most part, when they would open the websites would crash because hundreds upon thousands of applicants would rush to the website. So I rushed to one website and I didn't get through. Actually, there's a statistic where you have a higher chance of being admitted to any of the Ivy League colleges, Yale, Brown, Princeton, than being hired by the airline at that time. It could still be the case now, just because of the numbers. So as I was applying, it had arbitrary questions like, are you okay with relocating? Are you in great physical condition? I put yes, yes, yes. And then it gave me a question and I checked something, but it didn't let me through to the next page. I put back, 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 back. I just kept hitting back, which typically you can't do because it will reload and it will lock you out. Well, it went backwards, and then I selected the right answer. And the next page said, wow, okay, you are past the first hiring barrier. We would like to see you in Washington, D.C. I said, okay. You see, it's about persistence. There is no way I'm going to go back, back, back until I make it work. So during this time, this young woman had already surpassed that part and was going to Washington, D.C. to have the interview. So I shared this story because I went and said how I got suited and booted because my father is a business person. He always taught us, and my father would dress impeccably. He would always have, well, my dad would get all his stuff dry cleaned, but a nice starched collar and beautifully made suits. And he always had shined shoes. Yes, Mag, here I am. So I said, okay, I've been working. I have this stash. I'm going to Marshall's and I'm getting suited and booted. I am going because I'm going on this interview for the airlines and I am going to find a suit. Because you can never go wrong with the suit. And I had an era where I only wore suits because I love how you were treated if you wear suits. So I went and I even said, I'm not even looking at the sale rack. No, Marshall's, full price. Here we go. So I went and I bought this suit. I believe it was Casper, which is a great brand. And thank you, Mag, for sharing the live. And let's get these likes up. And I bought this beautiful Casper black suit. I believe it was single-breasted, but I love a double-breasted suit. And then I always joke that my father said, you don't want to get heels too high, but you don't want flats. So thank you, Mag. I went and got me the flyest kitten heels and I shined up my shoes. You couldn't tell me nothing. I went and got my collar starched. I was ready for this interview. And so the airline flew me from California, where I'm from originally, into Washington, D.C. And this was not the first time because I had booked hotels on my own. However, I was 22. I think I was going to ask my dad for some of his points, but I don't like asking my dad for anything. That is another secret because I will say I've always been well taken care of. Spoiled, sure. I believe children should be spoiled. However, I also saw that I don't want to ask. I am not going to continue to ask. First of all, I want more than what you're going to give me. So if I have to ask for it, if you're not just going to give it to me, I don't want it. And I love my parents for that because they did provide me with everything. However, I do remember this is mine. I bought this. I can take this back. Fine, then keep it. Then keep it. I will relentlessly work to do what I have to do to have the exact life that I want without asking anything of anyone. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you. This is probably a problem with me and men because I'm not asking. And if I ask, I ask for a lot. I ask for a lot, right? A lot. I know quality things. So I booked the Sheraton in Crystal City and exactly. Well, I'm not asking because I already got it. So I'm not asking. So I booked my Sheraton. I was suited and booted with my kitten heels. I went to the interview and I connected with the woman on the other side of the desk because this was an outside hiring firm that was doing another interview process before the final interview process with the actual airline company. So it was another woman who was maybe 10 to 20 years older than me, but as soon as I walked in, I could feel she loved me. And what's not to love? What's not to love? So I went in, we had the interview, and she said, I'm proud of you. You're going on to the next level. I said, of course I am. Woo! Woo! I took myself out to dinner in Crystal City. It was great. So I flew home because I was still living in California at that time with my parents. And I remember telling my dad, yeah, I have my final interview with this major airline. And my dad said, that's great. Why would they hire you? I said, again, you have to understand, this is what I've always had to endure. And I love my parents. They are old school baby boomers. I have built a very strong shell. And in addition to that, I also see the side of my father possibly saying, my daughter, young, traveling the world, safety, whatever. It doesn't matter, Dad. I'm out. They want me. I'm out. So there was that. And there was another friend of mine where I mentioned to her, yes, I have my final interview with this airline. And she said, I would never do that. You don't get paid that much. And why would you do that? Now, this friend had just had a child at 18 or 19. And we used to go to LA and Atlanta and travel together. This would now mean that I would no longer be that sidekick. And I understood that. So whenever that opposition, especially from someone's mouth, came out, I could kind of rationalize it and say, I know why they would say that. I don't care. Like, it's not ever going to stop me. In fact, this is exactly why I'm going to continue. Thank you, Black Olive 13, for the follow and the gift. Much appreciated. You gotta have to stay back here, baby girl, with the baby. But listen, I don't have no kids. I ain't taking care of your kids. I don't want to look at no kid clothes. I'm 22. I'm singling and mingling around the world. I got to go. Bye. Bye. I'll send you a postcard. What's up? What's up? So I went to the final interview, which was in Chicago. And again, suited and booted with my suit and my little shined up kitten heels. And I got through. And from that moment, I knew my whole life would change. Now, I had traveled with my parents, and I had actually traveled on my own up until that point of being 22. However, now this is a career. Now I've never lived outside my parents' home. I will be outside of my parents' home, and I'm so excited to be outside of my parents' home. And it's me. It's me. I've done this. All of this was done by me. And I have to figure everything out. And I'm excited that this is the story. However, to ingest that fact and stand strong like, yeah, I will figure it out, is why I say I trust my decisions. I trust my decisions. From that moment on, it was me, my support, my learning about myself through traveling the world on my own. Now, I would have colleagues that would sometimes assist, but it was about me, and that's what I wanted. Because there's a callousing of life that brings this wisdom, that brings this strength. I actually wanted to endure these things. Yeah, of course, I could move anywhere in the world because I've done it so much that it's just, okay, let me find where I want to live, and that's it. It's never a feeling of, hello, York. York, my TED Talk is posted, so you can go to YouTube, go to the TEDx page, put in the search bar, emergency landing that you need, and watch my TED Talk. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll post it on here. I don't know. It was just posted a couple hours ago. So, finding a place to live. I had to learn how to do that. Now, I had never done it, but I think I asked my parents. But I thought about, okay, I'm based in Washington, D.C. I have to fly out of all three airports, which means I have to fly out of Baltimore, Dulles, and National. Most of the flight attendants were putting themselves right next to Washington Dulles because, thank you, Aaliyah, because most of the flights were out of Washington Dulles. But you still have Baltimore and National. So I want to put myself in a central location. Even thinking of that brings an ease. Because when I had that 6 a.m. check-in in Baltimore or National, I'm not struggling to get to the airport because I perfectly positioned myself. Now, I also had to figure that out because I had no car. Here's another thing. A car, all of the expenses that a car brings, that's expenses that I could use to build my life. Hush, peso. Meaning, no car, well, I'm not going to have a car payment. I always pay everything off in cash. Now, insurance, gas, all of these things could be in my pocket for building my life. I'm in metropolitan areas, no car. I'll make it work. And this is in the 2000s, early 2000s, where something such as Uber didn't exist. Make it work. Make it work. If you have that 5 a.m. check-in, you better call up a cab at 3 a.m. so you can get there and have the 50, 60, $100 to pay it. You just have to make it work. And I did. Sometimes there were tears. Yeah. Yes. And BWI, I loved flying out of Baltimore. I love flying out of Baltimore. And the harbor is beautiful. However, these things, I would often hear other brand new flight attendants because we were all around the same age, 21, 22, under 25. They would say, I can't do this. Well, you can't. So you can go back to where you were. But I'm not going back to Fresno, California. I am with an international airline that has bases all around the world. Do you understand what that will give me? That gave me an unstoppable drive. I don't have the comfort of saying, I don't want to do this, so I'm going back. Now, I could. My parents have always said, you can always come back home. And I've utilized this. But I have the ability to see the world. And I love to travel. And I love to talk to people. Look at that Freudian slip. I love to talk to people. I want to learn about myself through seeing the world. So I will do what it takes to do it. There's an end goal in mind. I don't see the barrier and say, I give up. I don't care. What do I have to do to get over it? That's how you have to see it. Because regardless of what you do, there's always a barrier. There's always just life. My dad says life is what happens when you're planning all the good parts. Figure it out. And I would say out loud, I'm figuring this out. Okay, who's this dude? I met that dude. All right, let me call that dude and see if he can pick me up to take me to the airport. Do what you got to do to get you to where you need to be and learn from it and profit to the bank of yourself for it. This is why when I say money is important. However, the less money that you have, the more creative you can be. And in fact, the more creative you are, the more ways you can figure out to make things work. I always wanted to live outside the country. I was trying to find avenues to get to living outside the country. The airline brought that because there was foreign bases. So oftentimes it comes differently than how we see it. It's still what I want, but it's in a different package. And I'm ready for it. and I'm ready to take it on. And when I was living in DC, I was based there and lived there for about 2 years. It was great, especially for any young woman. It's a great place to date. You have a great mix of people. You have lots of professionals and diplomats and dignitaries and you have everything you do. However, I knew it wasn't it for me. It was a great space for that moment in time. And for me, how to learn to rent an apartment and get around and make connections and all of these things, because it was the first place I lived on my own outside of my parents' home. But I knew it wasn't it. And I find in life, you're always met with, okay, is this it, or do you want to take it further? I said, yeah, I'm going to take it further. This can't be it. This isn't enough for me. This is unfamiliar to a point, but it's still familiar. Yes, the East Coast is completely different from the West Coast, but I'm still in the US. I need a challenge. I want to grow. I'm getting out of here. And as soon as the transfers for the international bases were open, I immediately put my transfer in. And I went through. And I remember taking it out a few times and telling my friend our transfer is going to go through, because she had transferred from DC to Vegas, and I would fly into Vegas and we would party, stay up all night, get back on the plane, fly to DC. I did that. It's the best time. However, I want something different. So I called my friend and said, when we put these transfers in, they're going to go right through. She said, okay, let's do it. We put the transfer in on like a Tuesday and went through that Thursday. I have to report to London in 2 weeks, in 14 days. Cool. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And let me tell you, the best way to break up with someone is to move to a different country. Because, baby, I ain't taking you with me. I can assure you of that. You were great. We learned. We grew. We loved. It was happy. But you are staying here, okay? And there's a lot waiting for me there. You ain't coming along. Bye. It's been great. It doesn't have to be this fight. We had our great time, and now the time is to say goodbye. So that is a true story. And it is the best way to separate. Just move to a different country, okay? Just move to a different country, different time zone, different, all of that. It's not a pump and dump, David Smith. That is never a combination of words that I would use. Of course it's Eddie. Here's the thing. I'm 23 at the time, 24. What am I holding on to? It comes back to how I started this. It's trust. I trust myself. It was great. I learned, but this isn't it. And that's okay. Life is to be experienced, and not every relationship is the last relationship. I know that. The reality is I am moving to London for a minimum of 4 years. I am not going to hold myself back, and I'm going to be honest with you and me. They are waiting for me, baby, and you've been great, but bye, okay? And it's never that easy, because they always just like, well, let me come and visit you. It's never that easy. Let me say that much. I have a great story about that too. Maybe I'll share it. So I moved to London at 24, and that was another whole learning experience, because I purposely did that. There's something that happens when you put yourself in a completely foreign environment. Foreign meaning free from any family, free from anyone who's known you for, let's say, 10 plus years, and free from any of the constructs that are normal to you. meaning a monetary system, an educational system, a medical system, all of that. It has to shake you a bit, because now everything that I believe is true or that I know that is normal is now challenged. And it was the best thing. And I would have never known the things that I know now and my ability to expand. In America, for the most part, we are paid every other week. Sometimes you're paid every week. That's not the norm. Most places in Europe, you're paid once a month. And just adjusting to that or knowing that is just adding another link onto a chain of knowledge of this is just a different way of living. And the same in the reverse. Anyone in Europe who is paid once a month has no idea that in the US you're paid bi-weekly or sometimes every week. And I offer that just to say, now, that's only one enlightenment to another way of life. Imagine everything else. And it was in that which I always wanted, because it got me to this moment of being so expanded and so malleable and challenging my beliefs that I'm just open to allowing a different way of thought, open to allowing a different way of seeing things, open to knowing other ways that human beings function in harmony. Okay, then this means anything in life can be played out in any type of way. It doesn't just have to be the way that you've seen. And I share that to say, you can create it how you want it. Just because you're told this is, what's up, Carl? You have to go to school, get your degree, get a job, work for 40 years. I never wanted to do that. I always knew I didn't want to do that. In fact, I didn't even see my parents do that. So that means I can actually just make it up as I go. And I shared with my niece, everyone in life is just making it up as they go. And we are all hoping that it works out. But there's no one way that will definitely bring you what you see. And what I see for my life, someone else won't see. We all have a different outlook. And I find a beauty in that. There's such a beauty in that. Thank you, Carl. There's such a beauty in the uniqueness on how you choose to play this thing called life out. And that belief in myself, which is how I started this live, the belief in myself that I can do this because I've done it. I knew I wanted to travel and help people. I would always say that. Hope, what do you want to do? I was going to school for psychology. I want to help and travel. Now, it came in a different way, but it still came. This is why our words are so important. However, you have that unique ability of just building it your own way. If you have the courage for you. Because oftentimes we're not doing it because of what others will say, especially our family. Thank you, Michael Lattimore, for the gift, for the heart me. Thank you. Thank you for your appreciation on how you feel my life should go, but it's my life, not yours. And that will take courage. But after you say it the first time, you can say it as many times as you want. And you will get to a point where you don't have to say it at all. I don't have to say what, I don't even pick up the phone. I appreciate it, Carl. So that callousing, that ability to just keep going, keep moving, figuring it out, learning, transitioning, shifting, crying, being upset, learning, rearranging, stopping for a moment. What am I doing? It's all a part of it, but it's building your strongest self. It's building your foundation. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, I'm confident because I've been knocked down so many times, but someone said, Hope, you don't stay down for long. I don't stay down at all. Getting knocked down is a part of the process. It's like when you learn how to walk, you fall a lot, but no kid says, man, I keep falling, I guess I'm not going to walk. No, you just keep going. Yes, I have a tenacity for life. Most of these mofos are boring. I never wanted that. I didn't have a boring life. I don't want a boring life. There was a time where I was living between London and New York. There was a time where almost every weekend I was in a different country part. I did that because that's the life I wanted. And I allowed myself to dream. But at the same time, I'm learning with everything. I'm absorbing the different cultures and the languages, and I'm learning languages, and I'm learning different systems, and I'm learning that there's so many different ways to live this life that I'm going to take everything that I see, hear, feel, eat, experience, and allow it to add to me. I don't want to be that person. Well, a lot of times I am that person telling the story. However, I don't want to be that person that's always just talking and they haven't done it. I got to feel. I want to be a part of the action. Yeah, but it's not even picky. It's my life. It's my life, which means I could just decide how I want it to go in any moment. And there's a saying that says, climb to the top because it's the bottom that's crowded. And that's with how you see life. I want to have those stories. I want to say, yeah, I can tell you this because I've lived it. Sure. I've experienced. And then bring other people along. This is the other thing, and I will speak about this. I'm not just over here telling you this as a sense of bragging. I want to bring people along. Hopefully I can share something where you say, man, I want to do that. I want to see how that feels. When I did my TED Talk in Germany, I brought my niece. I've already traveled the world. I'm still traveling. I've seen the world thousands of times. I have friends all over the world, but it means nothing if I'm not bringing someone else along, if I'm not showing them how to do it, if I'm not expanding their mind in real time the same way I did for me. The saying is reach one, teach one. I got to teach. I got to show others that, yeah, you can do this in your own way. It doesn't have to be the way that people tell you. However, get out there and try it. Get out there and explore. It will never be a negative action to explore the world. In fact, I often say that I gained my PhD in life from exploring, from eating different foods and listening to different music and different languages and just seeing different ways of doing things. So now I'm aware that there's so many different ways of doing things. My immediate response is not a judgment of how someone does something. It's just an observance of, oh, that's another way. I'm open, I can learn. It always was because that's what I was taught, Carl. I saw it with my mother and father. Yeah, and I'm doing that too as well, Paradise. My goal with speaking actually isn't to speak in the US. I'm an international speaker. I seek to give confidence when you speak, not just by seeing me on stage, but when you speak to a colleague or your friend. Because when you speak with that confidence, not yet, Michael, it shows up in life. And I feel that my voice is utilized in spaces outside of the US. And speaking, I've learned languages. The most difficult part is just speaking. Because whatever your native language is, you don't have to think about it. I'm not thinking about constructing my words, my sentences, my grammar uses, how to conjugate my verbs. I'm not thinking about that when I speak English. It's something I don't have to actively think. That all has to be programmed when you're speaking another language. Because in the beginning, that's all you think about. What word should I use? You can't just construct a sentence. You may have to stop and pause and think about how to put that together. And there's a lack of confidence. I know. I've experienced it. It is, for me, frustrating because I love to communicate. However, the confidence of when you speak shows. It shows in how you enunciate. It shows in how you project. It shows in your body. It shows in your eye contact. I can see it immediately when someone says, "Hi, my name is." What? Hi, my name is. Okay, you don't want to be heard. And I have compassion for that. However, speaking shows your true level of belief in yourself and whatever you do. This is why oftentimes when people are making up things, thank you, Paradise, for the gift. I can pick up when it's not authentic. Because when I speak to you, you can see this energy and this, yeah, I believe in this. But what's up, DJ Hazard? What's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, the TED has been posted, so you can go to the TEDx link in YouTube and search the emergency landing you need and see me speak. I'm very excited. It's only been up for a few hours, less than 3 hours. So, being able to show up confident within yourself shows in how you speak. And I've decided that is something that I will teach because I can teach you how to talk, but it really comes to your belief in yourself, your love of yourself. How do you like yourself? It will show up how you talk. It will show up. So it's not really the system of how to speak. It's really how to be okay with you because then everything flows. How to acknowledge yourself, how to acknowledge your current narrative, what you tell to yourself. Is it words of power or is it words that will keep you disempowered? Because I'm not saying anything that's not empowering me, ever, ever. I am crazy. I am only going to speak empowering words to me, but I actually believe it. I believe it. I can make a great cheese sandwich. Just from that accomplishment, I feel great about myself. Oh my gosh, I make the best cheese sandwich. I make the best bread. I make the most amazing pancakes. I carry that with me. Every little thing that you do can add to the beauty in you. I do. No, I'm a good crazy. Let me tell you this. Whenever no one would ever say, "Oh, Hope, she's crazy." No, they would say, "Oh, yeah, Hope, yeah, she's crazy. I like Hope." That's what they say. There's a big difference because I have friends that are, I even say, I have on the scale, I have the friends that are on the 10, on a level of 1 not being crazy, 10 being like sociopaths. I have those. I don't even think I fall on that scale. Maybe I'm a 3. And it's all how you see it. I don't see anything as, I'm not looking at it as hurting me. I'm only looking at things as beneficial or not beneficial. So that could be exchanged as hurtful or aiding. But for me, how does this benefit me? For me to get in this argument, how does this benefit me? What does this add to me? I play this out. Just that simple thing of, okay, well, what does this mean for me? Nothing. Oh, okay, well, I don't have to participate. I know what I am. All right, I don't need to. How does losing my cool and cursing at someone and punching someone, how does that benefit me? For me, there's no way that it ever does. I see myself as powerful, as a leader. As a leader, I don't have the luxury of losing it. That's how I see myself. I see myself as like a president. No. For me, that's how seriously I take it. There is nothing that is that detrimental where I need to cause physical harm to someone. I have the power of walking away. I have the power of using my words, and I have the power of disengaging. However, if you're unaware of that, if you say, well, they shouldn't have said, you don't get to control how anyone shows up. You get to control how you show up. You get to control how you respond, but I don't control how people show up in the world. We're all just showing up how we feel is beneficial, or at times we're just showing up from other people that we've seen. However, that is not under my control, nor is it something that I'm trying to control. In fact, I will check my thoughts. Why am I feeling that? Oh, I'm feeling that because I feel sad. Why do I feel sad? It's always why within me, not they shouldn't. People just show up. People just show up. That adds to my power. I don't dictate how anyone shows up. Okay? When I chose to step into speaking professionally, I said, this is a 20-year game. This is a long game. It's going to take everything in me to give. So in that space, thank you for sending the roses, Carl. That ensures that I know this is going to take time. Anything you learn, whether it's a language, whether it's a new way of being, a new way of eating, a new way of taking care of your body, it will take time. Give it time. The moment that you say it hasn't happened in 6 hours, it doesn't. It's for the rest of your life. It's for the rest of your life. This thinking pattern has taken me my entire life to acquire. It will take the rest of my life to continue to add upon it. And that way I can give myself grace. And I also understand that this is a life lesson that is continuing. To me, this is the long game. I'm grown and sexy. I love that. I love that I can say, yeah, I flew for 15 years. I lived abroad in 60 countries and I've done this and that. And now that was a beautiful dream. It taught me so much, but this is what's next. There's stages, there's chapters. The beauty of saying who I am, who I see myself as is, you had to be that old version of yourself to even know you wanted the new version. But until you see that that version no longer is beneficial, you'll never work towards getting towards the new version. I want to be that old lady that has stories that people love, that people say, hey, yo, let me stop. I got to go see Hope. Like Hope's I got to go see her. Yes, that's what I'm working towards. With books with my name on it. with knowing, yeah, I have done things that I own everything I've done. It's never anything that I'm proud or not proud of. It's added to me. I've learned from it. I take ownership of everything. However, it's catapulting me somewhere. Yes, it is always about clarity. And I just gained more clarity just in this week. The confidence also comes from the competence of repetition. Every day that I get up and take my sexy walks, I know that I can trust myself to take that walk every day. It is a process, and I love the process. However, I give myself the patience to know that a process is a process. What took me to the TED stage was a process. It was a process. With my confidence, of course, doubt jumped up, as it should. The more that I do it, the stronger that muscle becomes. And to share this means that you can have that too. It takes time. It takes a vision of what you want. It takes tuning out all these dumb people that live boring lives that want to keep you down where they are. And I understand that. If I am successful in something, that means that possibly someone else can see what they could do, what they're choosing not to do. So what? That person will always be there, but there's so many others that will be influenced. If Hope did it, what is it that I can do? And that's what I say. Let me dream. I want to dream. I dream to inspire. I dream for people to be like, yo, I know Hope from Hope from Fresno. Yeah, I know Hope. No, Hope is cool. I want people to dream. That's it. To inspire for something more than what they are in this moment. That's it. Whether you do it or not, it doesn't matter to me. It's the fact that you dream that you can, because that's the start. That's the start. I had shared that while I was on the TED stage, I was the only speaker. Well, there was another one. Everyone else had PhDs and masters of AI and technology and doctors, and I'm me. And I'm on the same stage. I'm on the same stage. And I believe that there is no retention. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Clarify that, York, because I don't know what that means. However, it takes time. Listen, if you're speaking of an audience, people don't even know what they like until people tell them what to like. And I will continue because that's what it's going to take. It's just going to take me continuing. The doubt doesn't do anything. It doesn't bring me closer. It doesn't push me closer. It doesn't increase my worthiness, my wisdom, my persistence. It's just there to really stifle growth. That isn't a part of my story. So until you understand that your story is just to take one more step, it doesn't matter about all the way at the end. The goal is to take one more step. Just one. Because if you take one, you can take another. It's always small. It's small incremental changes. What did I dream a week ago? It's small incremental changes. Taking a step, taking a step, taking a step, taking a step. Taking a step. Taking a step. That's all you have to do is take a step. Take one step. Congratulate yourself on that one step and then take another. That's it. The steps may change, but it's the fact that you're taking a step. With pleasure, Carl. I will always be here. So, motivation and moisturized skin. To motivate, for me, I think that's because my microphone just went out. So you should be able to hear me now. What I said was, I don't understand what retention is or retaining. Does that mean persistence or staying on your path? Clarify. Do what it takes to get you where you want. I don't care what it takes. Do it. I am like with my dad. I'm not about the complaints. Do what it takes. Do whatever it takes to get you to where you want and need to be. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. Aside from that, everything else is just fluff. Everything else is just an excuse for not getting there. I don't care about that. I care about where I want to be. I will continue. I will speak words of affirmation and positivity into myself. I will endure whatever discomfort, which is momentary, and it may just be building something within me to get me to where I need to be. Outside of that, I don't care about the rest. Don't come to me with an excuse of why you can't get there, because you can. It does start with vision. It does start with seeing yourself there, and then the rest will come. However, that excuse of why you can't is keeping you exactly where you are. Until you think of all the reasons why it is for you, of why you have to do it, of why it'll feel so good when you do it, that's that other area that gets you there. I'm not with the loser's mentality. I can't, no one. Okay, sure, I understand that. But get away from me, because that's not, for me, it's not real. I create my reality, which means it's happening. I'm doing what it takes. I'm doing what it takes. I may not see it now. I don't know how, and it's happening. And that's it. As I said, my TED Talk, I'll make another post with it, is now on YouTube. You can go to the TEDx platform and you can search for the emergency landing you need. And it's there. It's just under 8 minutes. It's the motivation you need. And use that as a beacon for what you can do. I just had a goal of doing that. I didn't know how. How it came to me was something completely different than how I thought it would. Thank you, Stephanie Living Life. Yeah, comment, say I found you from TikTok. Do all of that because it's all of our accomplishments. If you see me doing it, it means you can do whatever you dream of. Yes, more will always be revealed. You can do it. I don't have a college degree, although I'm probably a lot smarter than all of that. I'm constantly reading books, learning languages, and all sorts of stuff. In fact, I have a book today. I'm reading, I have a few books. Uh, Success quotes from, what's his name? He's written so many positivity books, and The Art of War for Business Owners. So it's like The Art of War, but it pertains to business. Let me see. Tracy. I think it's Brian Tracy. Is it Brian Tracy? It may be Brian Tracy. Either way, I just do it because I'm persistent. I have to say, you can never out persist me, outwork me, because I already see it in my mind. It it will come to me in a different way, but it's mine. So, Mag, you know I always end with be the reflection of love because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. I showed up. I didn't show up yesterday. I'm showing up today. And to make up for yesterday, I'll show up tomorrow. I'm going to do a longer live tomorrow. I may do like a session tomorrow of something. Make it look good when you show up. Today, no makeup. However, my skin's glowing. I feel great. And be persistent. Tell them to shut the F up. And that may be how you have to talk to yourself with self-doubt. Accomplish. Keep going and see me on the other side of the finish line. I'm waiting here for you. Okay? Mag, I love you. You haven't even been in a few of the lives. I was asking, where's Mag at? I asked I am Frey because you're usually one of the first in, but I know you probably hard at work in Atlanta because that's what you do. And you have mentioned that to me. As I said, go check out my TED Talk on YouTube. Just put in TEDx, the emergency landing you need. Like it, leave a comment, do something. Because there's more. I can't wait to tell you. And eat something great. I'm going to have a Vietnamese sandwich now. Enjoy the rest of the night because life is getting so much better. Ciao.